to show you what just came into the shop. I do a lot of chainsaw repair work for a lot of the local tree companies, and I sell a lot of these chainsaws too. This is actually a Stihl MS 500i chainsaw. Probably the most popular saw that I sell here in the shop. Customer bought this saw last fall from me. Had one of their employees cutting a stump, and when they were cutting the stump, they were running the saw pretty hard. Probably had a dull chain on it. Just making one cut. They hadn't been using the saw before then, and the saw quit running. So they brought the saw into me to figure out what was wrong with it. Just ask some questions. This week in particular, we've got an awful lot of rain. Normally don't get that much rain this time of year in July, but I always ask questions nonetheless. So first thing I always do, hang cord test. This one had a little bit of drop in compression in it. It wasn't like horrible, but it was still there. So that was one issue I was keeping an eye on. The first thing I did was check the fuel. Drained all the fuel. The fuel had good color to it. You could see the mix-ins. Customer said the fuel was fresh. So then what I did is I always go to the muffler on the exhaust side, and I take that off and I inspect the piston. Well, let's pop the muffler off and let's see what this one looks like. See if I can get this set up for you guys so you can at least see what I'm doing here. So what we're gonna look for here, obviously we wanna see horizontal machining marks. The horizontal machining marks are there from the factory, so that's normal. What we don't wanna see is vertical scoring. So we don't wanna see a bunch of discoloration on that piston either. So let me shine a light in there and show you guys what's going on with this one. So I know it's hard to see. I guess I could take this off and get you a little bit more visibility here. All right, let's see if you guys can see this. So right in there, if you look at the piston, on this side over here towards me, you're gonna see some scoring. See if I can get the best angle for you possible. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Right there. You guys see that in there? That is gonna be a scored piston. So like I said, this saw is, I don't know, probably 7-8 months old out in the field, and obviously shouldn't have issues like this, so it's not a factory issue. I started asking questions. The customer, I don't know if you can see, but there's like mud and debris and stuff on there. The customer said he leaves his saws in the back of his truck. Well, let me show you what happens when you leave it in the back of your truck. So if you look at this muffler right here, and the saw is leaning on its side, just like this, and the muffler is sitting in there, what do you think is gonna happen if water goes in that hole? So that's a pretty decent sized hole right there inside there. It's gonna collect water. So I'm assuming what had happened, the customer had the saw in the back of their truck. It rained the night before pretty heavy, collected water inside the saw. Customer went out to cut a stump, big stump, and the first time running the saw for the day, ended up leaning out the saw and scoring the piston because he had a bunch of water in there, so it wasn't getting proper lubrication. And the damage was on the side of the exhaust hole, so that would also lead me to believe that the water was going in there on that side. So I checked the fuel, like I said, it's got plenty of mix-ins, so it's not like a fuel issue where they didn't put oil in there. He said the saw just came straight from the job site, so it wasn't like somebody had a chance to dump the gas out, put new gas in. The only way that is going to score outside of like an air leak or something like that would be a lean run issue. So I'll check and do a pressure vacuum test on this saw, but 99.9% sure it's not going to have an air leak. It's just going to be due to the water. And I don't know if you guys can see, if I turn this around, if you look at the side there of that cylinder, there's some glistening on there. That's actually water sitting on the saw. So I think water is what did the saw in. And yeah, it's going to cost the customer quite a bit of money, these top ends. I'll check the cylinder to see if there's scoring on it. If there is scoring, that kit's going to be about $400. You're going to have probably about an hour of labor because I go through and I clean everything as I'm doing it. So going to be a little over $500 for replacing this top end just because we left it out in the rain. So moral of the story is take care of your equipment. It'll take care of you, and you won't be spending money paying a repair guy to fix stuff up. So that's all I got for right now. Have a good rest of your day, guys.